You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi everybody, I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
Folks, this is episode 255 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you're new here, this is the podcast where we talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bikepacking, bike camping, or just playing bikes. Today, we're going to do a little Croatan Buck 50 recap, and welcome Joey back. We're here in the bike shop. And
did we even think, we never even thought about doing it Friday unless you told me, or unless you said something.
I had everything, but it was
I know you did, but
it was just such a whirlwind of activity.
That I think we were racing the rain at first.
Yeah, it would have been very tough to squeeze it all in, and there was so much time catching up with friends that we hadn't seen in a long time. So it's like, it's okay. Folks, go over to the show notes and check out the discount codes over there. All the good stuff. I'm going to quickly run through the random stuff.
Yeah,
and there's nothing really here. Our good friend Jeremiah Bishop has got a new event, the Shenandoah Graveler. It's Saturday, May 25th this year. So he announced like a new event and did it in very short order. It's only like a two-month window. It's a one-day event. It is in Woodstock, Virginia. Starts at the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds. He's got 3 different routes: an 82-mile route with 7,200 feet. 60% of that is unpaved. A 50-mile route with 4,000 feet. 60% of that is unpaved. A 20-mile route with 1,000 feet, and 40% of that is unpaved. It is limited to 200 entries, and you can find out more information and register over at bikereg.com/gravel. One more new event to sort of like plug that's coming up, Pennsylvania Gravel Fest weekend. That is Thursday, September 12th through Sunday, September 15th of this year in Gaines, Pennsylvania at the Crooked Creek Campground on Pine Creek, just west of Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. It's going to be camping, riding, food, fun, a whole big festival. There's gravel rides every day. Registration opens on March 29th. There's lots more information to come on this one, so stay tuned. bikereg.com/PA Gravel Fest. That one sounds pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to see how that...
I've seen a lot of social media on that one lately.
Yeah, they're really pushing that hard. I think they only got like 100 spots on that. So if that's something you want to do to get in on, jump on it. The GTD trip updates, Grace and Gravel. We need one more person to really make that happen. So if you've got a friend out there that's looking for some adventure, definitely send them that way to Grace and Gravel. That's going to be a great weekend. You're going to be there, Joey. I'm going to be there. We're going to ride our bikes. We're going to carry all the stuff. We're going to eat food. We're going to make coffee, and you'll consume it. Pennsylvania Gravel weekends, we need a lot more to make this magic happen. And I'll be honest, folks, touring is down across the industry. So we'll see how this one plays out. We got the women's weekend, the first weekend, and then we got our Grusk Adventure the second weekend. So stay tuned. If you're interested in that, jump on it quick. You want to take a look at Strava Club, Joey?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, we have Dave Jones from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania with 201.2. Scott Mitchell, I thought it was Michael Scott, from Winfield, West Virginia with 148.7.
That's Scott.
Buck 50. Yeah, I know.
That's Scott. That's Jason, Jeremy, and Daryl's buddy.
West Virginia crew.
Yeah.
But I read it backwards. That's how my mind works. Nick Marzano from Philly. That's a familiar name. Mm-hmm. Philly with 172.6. And the top 100 was 126.1. And we're at 105 members. 1,005.
That would be funny if we dropped all the way back to 105.
That's fine.
There was the great Strava purge.
Yeah. It happens.
So check that out on
I
Strava.
unsubscribed from Strava Premium. So
You did unsubscribe from Strava Premium?
yeah, remember I did that like in January.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember.
I'm paying Ride with GPS now.
Yeah, they're both good. They're both good apps. Before we get too far, I've got a sticker here for you that came from Jesse Piccolo along with the pistachios, which we'll talk about. The Gravel Rats. It's a cool little sticker.
Oh, yeah.
It'll go on something somewhere. I've thrown mine on. It's, I think, one of my initial stickers on one of my boxes for my rooftop tent trailer. So let's dive into Croatan Buck 50.
Yeah.
Of course, the weather was the big story.
I'm going to talk about I sprained my ankle really bad Thursday.
Before you even get there, yeah, Joey's
So
out there.
even there
Injured
yet.
himself. What'd you do?
I rolled it.
So
I've been running on like 1,000 milligrams every 24 hours ibuprofen. I don't think it's good for my liver or something.
No, not for an extended period of time. That can hurt your liver. Too much vitamin I can definitely catch up with your liver. But you were getting around great, but it looks like now maybe it's actually even a little worse.
Oh no, it hurt a lot.
Did it? Okay,
it still hurts.
Yeah,
but it just is what it is. I'm not going to hobble.
No. Okay.
They made me wrap it in this little thing.
What do you got
coming
there?
undone. I don't know. It's supposed to stabilize it.
It'll make it feel better.
And they're supposed to call me about the X-rays today.
Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Yeah, she's like, "Are you ricing?" I'm like, "I don't know what ricing is." Like, it's your job.
Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
I've literally done none of that.
Well, you've got compression. We've got the little sleeve on your ankle.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't do any of it before. No. Okay. Well,
I was like, I didn't want to let anyone know either. I had too much stuff to do.
So, we all headed out on Friday, and I did get a jump start. I tried to get out super early because I wasn't sure. The weather, like I said, was the story of the weekend with monsoon, hurricane / winds, and volumes of rain.
Pretty sure we got like a tropical storm that wasn't labeled.
Yeah, it didn't get a name.
Yeah.
How'd you like to be the storm that doesn't get a name? Kind of would suck.
Croatan depression.
Put all of that effort into developing your own little storm system, and you don't get don't get named. Come on. Wow. What do you got to do to get a name around here? It was quite the big deal. It really did feel like it.
Oh, yeah.
But the weird part about it, and to sort of skip around a little bit, it really didn't impact the riding as much on Saturday as you could possibly think it would have.
No, surprisingly, the roads were pretty dry. Although Catfish really sucked. That was just like ride through a bog. Like it just sucked your wheel.
Sloggy was the word I used.
That mile or two stretch of that single track on the very backside of the course really sucked.
Now that
was so muddy and pulling your tires down because it was like grassy single track with like rutted out tire things. That one that wore me out a little bit more than I thought.
We skipped that.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to explain it to you, or I was trying to talk to you about it, and you didn't tell me after. Like, yeah, we didn't do that at all.
I'm sorry. This was the first year. I don't know if it was the first year that Matt has done it this way, but he split.
The first year he did it.
The 100 and the 150 ran on Saturday, and then the 25 and the 50 ran on Sunday. I don't know. It seemed different. The vibe seemed a little different, but it was still there. It was just
I didn't
spread
feel
out.
any difference in the vibe. And I know
really
I saw comments, but like, what difference does it make versus like it spread out the whole thing?
It's a volume of people thing, I think.
And I kind of liked it split with the volume.
There's definitely
there was not as many people waiting for food trucks.
Yeah.
It wasn't as crammed. Like in the group message last night, like you imagine a cornfield with 1,000 people in it.
Yeah.
Versus, I think we had 400 through 500 on the first day, and then 300 on the second day. Like, and then you're gonna mix. No offense. Then you're gonna mix the the newer folks who probably don't have some of the riding capabilities into the mix of the guys and the girls and
they're going hard.
Everyone that are going hard.
Yeah.
Up front, and then you might meet at the cornfield, and it could change the whole race.
That's what I've always felt is the thing at Buck 50, the way that it's that out and back format.
Yeah.
There's some pros and some cons to that. I mean, you mentioned it last night when we were chatting in our little group message with Matt about the weekend, that the cool thing about it is you get to see all the different riders as you're passing each other going back and forth. But there's a con to that as well, because then you've got people that are doing the 50s and the 25s that I don't know for whatever reason are on a different pace schedule, which is fine. It's perfect. It's great. It's fantastic. It's the way it should be. But there may be some overlap and some interaction and some passing that has to take place.
Yeah, because I think your 20s and 50s are going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And your 150s are, and even like half of the 100s were like, I mean, you're not getting a paycheck for it, but they're racing like it.
Well, I think a lot of people out there, I mean, there's the tip of the spear that are out there racing for the podiums. But I think everybody else, the real vibe that I get, the go fast attitude really revolves around some self-competition. It's like looking at your times in the past and wanting to do sections differently. And the course was so much different.
Yeah.
The course was, I mean, not different from the route perspective, but different from the condition perspective.
Yeah. And I could also see someone like the 20 is probably getting their toes wet.
Yeah.
Not like we got completely wet, but just they might get a little sour at the way some of the 150 riders were. Like, I definitely played chicken a few times, and I'm bigger than the average cyclist, so I wasn't moving.
Yeah, yeah. and it also was different, too, in previous years with that back and forth, with the road conditions being so different, being so potholed, whereas this year it was all buffed out and smoothed out, whereas there's fewer lines to get through.
Yeah, I would say because there was like the first 10, maybe up until the cornfield, where like the roads were nice that were potholy, but the center part of it, like, you're not crossing there. That was so loose and chundery.
Oh, I did.
There was a couple times you could, but it was not safe
to
cross over in a lot of those areres.
Yeah, I went back and forth.
And I heard of crashes there the day before.
Okay.
And it wasn't the whole stretch, but there were certain sections you could tell how loose it was. And I heard of people getting stitches already from that on pre-rides too.
And not even because they were snitches. They just got stitches.
They just got them.
Now, the weather event on Friday, it really started out as sort of a rain event.
Yeah, the wind wasn't bad.
Until it was sleep time. Until it was dark time.
Dark time, yeah.
Dark time turned into...
Then it kind of got scary.
It did a little bit. You and I both sitting in rooftop tents on the tops of vehicles.
I think we were the only ones in rooftops, too.
Might have been.
There was one CVT, but he was blocked by a whole RV.
Yeah, there was some strategic placement. I looked at the wind direction, and you asked me about the wind direction. I had confirmed it before you said.
It didn't matter. It flipped on Saturday night.
Did it really?
Friday night was the windiest, and I'm glad I set up where I did. But the front of my tent, ours fold out because the wind was coming from
the north.
The way it flipped, it was lifting up my tent a little bit.
Okay. Well, I had
But you have yours ratcheted down.
Well, I had it ratcheted down, but I also had it tucked inside the gazelle, inside the gazebo.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I think, probably helped quite a bit. So, we had the whole condominium set up, and this was my first bike adventure with the trailer, the rooftop tent trailer, the camping trailer set up. And I thought that worked great. No problems hauling it down there. Easy setup, mobile after it was done, although we didn't need it. If we had needed it, it would have been nice to be able to be mobile after the fact. And that worked out really well. There were a lot of like Class Bs and a lot of different kinds of camping things.
There was a little bit of everything. I think the sleeping in the car was probably the best tent of the weekend.
I think most people that were in tents ended up doing that, whether they wanted to or not. There was the one tent next to us that
they didn't even sleep in their car. They left.
They just bailed. I don't know where they went. They went and slept in 7-Eleven. Yeah,
then they left all their stuff.
They
for like 2 days.
They had a canopy that literally flipped up and landed on top of the tent. And thank God
while they were in it.
Thank God it didn't hit anybody. But think about trying to get out of your tent when the ginormity of it is mangled with this pop-up canopy. So it was quite the event. Matt, I thought, was wise. He delayed the start on Saturday morning to kind of
made a huge difference.
Yeah, that extra hour really did make a difference. I know it made a huge difference for the Buck 50s, although there was a lot of people that didn't get the word and still showed up early. But
it's better to do it that way than the other way around.
The other way around, yeah. Let's see. I wasn't really privy to the start of the 150. There was a lot of numbers. There was big numbers. I don't know what his total numbers looked like for the event.
There was a lot of folks.
Yeah, there was a lot of riders.
I saw people rolling in way too early. I saw the coffee truck rolling at 5:30.
That was another difference this year, the food trucks that he did.
I loved it.
It was great.
No offense to Moonshiners, but everyone knows how sick I got from the hash browns.
Yeah, and it's
that was my own fault.
But it's grill food. It's deep fried grill fruit, and that, and have some options.
What was there, like 4 or 6 food trucks? There was never huge lines at any of them.
Yeah,
the meal ticket thing was easy. And there weren't any. None of them were the same.
Right.
I should have eaten that more.
What did you end up getting?
The second night I got the barbecue shredded brisket sandwich, which was amazing because they did it like pulled pork style.
Right.
And then there was bacon beans, green beans with bacon in them.
Yum.
And then the beans itself, and then it was the typical Carolina vinegar barbecue.
Yeah.
It was one of the best post-ride meals I've had.
There was a Mexican truck, which is what I went to. We had tacos and nacho-covered fries, which was delicious. And then there was the barbecue truck, which everybody was raving about, and then a burger truck.
Yeah.
And I didn't really hear
anybody. Burger bus?
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody say anything good or bad about the burger bus. But
I know Jack said it was okay. He definitely loved the barbecue.
Yeah.
But we also cooked our meals.
Yeah.
On Friday night, we did spaghetti and a Yeti.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun pulling spaghetti out of a Yeti.
And my gallon Yeti jug, I cooked everything with one Dutch oven on one skillet, but I cooked the pasta separately, the sausage separately, and then the sauce separately, and then combined it at the end.
So you rode your single speed.
Yeah.
You rode Matt's bike, set up single speed.
It was I think my whole bike was perfect.
Did you hear anybody else say Matt's bike? Or is that done now?
Hopefully it's done.
I think it might be done.
I mean, like I have to take it back once a year to Croatan, so it's like, it's kind of a homecoming.
Yeah, you've had like a full year of ownership of that bike.
I got it last February from Matt.
Yeah.
And then I spent a while. I rode it flat bar for like a week or two, and I was like, no, that's Matt's bike.
Yeah.
And then I literally finished the build the day before Croatan last year.
It doesn't look anything like Matt's bike when Matt had it, because you've added all the chrome bits and you've really tricked it out a little bit. So and I think when we were in January down in Florida, the rodeo
everyone
people,
that built it was there.
Yeah, they were a part of building it, and that was super.
Yeah, and all those people knew rodeo, and they saw it on the Radavist and all the other stuff. So
now you said the setup was perfect. What gearing did you end up running?
I ran 42-18.
Okay.
And I brought a 17 and a 19 cog.
Okay.
And I left it at 18 because I knew the wind was going to be a factor.
All right.
I ran my 44 Squanalmy passes, my Renee Hurst, on my Terrace CLs, which made them puff out to about 47s.
Nice.
And I was like at maybe 25 front, like 30 PSI rear.
So you're happy with it? Seemed like you were happy with it.
There was nothing wrong with it. I put on the new Ergon gravel tape.
Mm-hmm.
My hand issues went away a little bit that I had. I mean, I have like carpal tunnel in this hand because I've also shattered this wrist. So I've always had like numbing issues, and I didn't have as many numbing issues with that. My Brooks saddle.
Like you actually did that at camp Friday night.
Yeah, I did it Friday night. I also changed my bar tape and stuff the night before Dirty Kansas that one year too. It's like a thing I do now.
Yeah.
No, like everything felt perfect. Because I got fit. I haven't talked about it because I haven't been on, but I also got fit by Lori about 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So my position feels great.
Okay.
And it alleviated a lot of my knee pain, except for actually busting my knee again on Thursday.
Well, there was a big difference in your saddle height.
Oh, yeah, like 1.5 inches.
Yeah, that was considerable.
Yeah, and that was down for Monster Cross, too, because that affected me at Monster Cross, I think, with some power.
Okay.
But I felt great. Like I said, the bike was perfect.
Did you need the inhaler?
I took the inhaler before we went. I do about an hour and then a half hour. And I had 2 with me this time instead of leaving them all in the car. But I was also, I don't know if I was telling Jack, but Monster Cross was extremely punchy with climbs, and it was really cold.
Right.
And the cold air affects your lungs like that.
Oh, it was cold.
Monster Cross heart rate, I think my heart rate was super consistent, and it wasn't cold, it wasn't hot on Saturday either. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of neutral.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple places. I know that single track that you skip, my heart rate was about 180. It's not even single track. It was like
it's double
muddy
track.
Fire road.
It's double track.
Double track, not single track.
But it's out there in that. I've ridden it a couple of times before. Yeah. It's out there above Catfish Lake, and it's that grassy side of it. So you go that long stretch out from Catfish Lake Road. You pass the lake on your right. You hang that sharp right. It gets a little rough through there. Was it rough on the top side of it? And then you get to the end of that, and you hook that right where you head back south, and it's just grass.
Yeah.
For probably 2 miles.
But you can't really change anything with single. Like, you just had to power through it all. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't, like, shift or, like, so my heart rate was up. Mm-hmm. But I didn't need all my inhalers that everyone asked about 400 times for.
Everybody's just looking out for you.
Yeah.
Everybody's just looking out for you. That's
and then
all
what was it, Donna? She's like, do you have a medical problem or something? It's like,
she saw you use it at the beginning. No, that's what you do. That's what you do. And it worked. And it worked. And you've said several times you felt like the bike setup was great, that you felt great.
I felt great.
Except for the ankle. Did the ankle really impact you?
It hurt, but it didn't, like, take away anything.
Okay.
No, like, physically I felt like even, rolling around at mile 60, like, I was really, like, fresh and rejuvenated.
Yeah.
So, like, I got back to camp, and usually I'm pretty, like, gassed. I was like, no, I was raring to go.
None of us did the second lap except for Larry. Larry did the second lap. Yeah. And I don't think it was – I don't think there was I'm not going out for the second lap because I'm gassed or because I don't want to go out and do the same thing. I think there was more of looking forward to the opportunity to have some fun at camp. Yeah,
and we did start an hour later.
Yeah.
And I think we all kind of came to that conclusion. Ted was having seat post issues, and John was Ted's ride partner, and so John stayed with Ted, and Jack was my ride partner, so we were doing whatever each other was doing. So like if Jack wanted to go back out, I was going to go back out. If Jack wanted to stay, I stay. And then, but it was the best. It was a perfect 60-mile day.
Yeah, yeah.
It also right after we showered and I reset up my canopy because it got blown to pieces the night before. It started pouring.
Yeah,
like it was nasty.
I was in the shower when it was doing all that raining, and I literally stood at the door of the shower.
And I was like, "Oh man, all those idiots are still out."
Yeah, I'm not going back out in. I wouldn't even walk out of the shower house.
Yeah,
I was just standing in the doorway of the shower. Nobody was coming to get in it. So that was the other thing with it being split up. There was like the facilities, I think, probably had a little bit better ability to. And I know
it's double. It obviously was double the work for Matt.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I didn't mind the 2-day. The people with the vibe thing, I don't know what they thought was different.
Well, and I know that from talking with Matt, he was trying to figure out a way to get more people.
Yeah.
And it may have kind of backfired. So you never know on these things, because I think a lot of people that want to do, especially the 20 or the 50, or doing it, like you said, for fun. Although there are people that compete the 50, they were doing it for some fun, doing it for some fun, and then they would do that while their significant other was doing the 100 or the 150.
Yeah.
So there could have been some drop off in the 20s and the 50s because of that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to chat with Matt a little bit more about it and figure out.
Yeah, but also there was more people camping Saturday night because they were 50 riders too.
Exactly.
So there's more camping.
Yeah.
A lot of people ditched Saturday nights in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
They rode and they went home.
And they would camp the night before. They would get up early. They would ride and they would roll.
I mean, we rolled out pretty early Sunday morning, but
yeah. So I think that it worked out well.
Yeah.
But again, not being there on on Sunday for the 20s and the 50s, I don't really have a clue what the vibe was like. Yeah. I know that the weather was drastically different.
There was sun, but it was cold.
There was sun, but it was cold. We had actually pretty mild temperatures. The wind died down. The course was wet, but that course adapts so well to rain. It drains the gutters, those little bog areas on the side of the roads were full of water.
And so was the
Saturday
pits of the cornfield.
What was for you the best part of the course?
I don't know. Like I said, I hated Catfish Road, which I knew about in the past. But
for me, the best part was once you got off of the hardtop and those first roads that had such improvement until you get to the turn to go into the single track and the cornfield. Single track and cornfield, like you alluded to earlier, were just a mess this year.
Yeah,
wow.
They were a fun mess, though. It wasn't like it was miserable. I think it was worse than Sector 4 for some people. I don't know. There was
everything else seemed a little sloggy. The first part seemed great. It was packed.
From after the cornfield to the rest stop, those roads were rode really nice. Even the roads after Catfish to that single track and back, like all the roads rode really nice.
Yeah, the whole thing was great.
So I was trying to explain to people like the amount of potholes that weren't there this year.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know that if you hadn't ridden in years past.
Yeah, because the potholes were ridiculous. Like you couldn't let your mind drift last year. Like I was trying to tell Alonzo, you were pretty mentally tired too because you had to stay so focused.
Yep.
And then you had to combine that with riders coming both ways. Like it was a little mentally draining last year versus this year.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. I thought it was a perfect year. Like I also hate bluebird weather.
I know you like that gray.
I love that gray. And it was warm enough where like I didn't wear a rain jacket at all.
I didn't either.
Because a rain jacket would have been sweating. That was perfect temperature. I got cold once, so I just pedaled a little bit harder.
I didn't ever get cold. I had on a base layer plus my merino wool long sleeve plus a long sleeve jersey.
Well, the guy Ron that started riding with us, I think we were probably the last 5 miles. There was a small temperature drop. It wasn't like I was getting cold because it was getting cold. Like it actually got. Yeah. It cooled off because I think that second round of everything was coming through.
The whole of not just the cornfield, but the whole of the single track. After you turned off, they made that sharp pin turn, and then you went into the first field.
With the tree down?
Yeah, with the tree down. That whole single track was a mess as the more people that went through it. And I did go into one of those holes thinking it wasn't going to be as deep, and it buried my bottom bracket. Now the mystery is solved why my bottom bracket is always so full of sludge and crap. And
I think me and Jack successfully rode through everything on out, which was nice not having to get off because it is a lot of work with a single speed. But coming back, it was pretty bad. And I know Jack took a spill and I was going to keep riding right before Jack fell over, and I slammed on my brakes, and luckily I didn't go into the mud.
So after the ditch in the cornfield, and you had that sharp left, sharp right, and then the long stretch out to the hard top to finish out the cornfield, you were able to ride through that left and that right? Because for when
not right there. I'm talking about in the trees.
Oh, in the trees. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we rode
mud pits.
Yeah, we rode everything in the trees, but it felt like a mess.
Everyone kept getting off. I was like, don't get off, just ride it.
I think I may have dabbed a couple of times on the way back, just because the way that it had by the time.
Well, there was so much back and forth of people coming back, and it just got so rutted out.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
well, the whole of the event, I think, just like in years past, fantastic Croatan Buck 50.
Still my favorite as far as just as a whole with the camping and all.
Yeah, absolutely. And then having the food trucks, so you didn't have to worry about food in the afternoon, but you had plenty of choices. And then we didn't have a campfire. We didn't have that would have been nice. I should have brought my little propane, but I didn't even think about it.
I forgot to text everyone to coordinate a solo stove. Or we could have probably borrowed the people's that blew over. I didn't think about that, but I also got to see Larry in his underwear. I also got out my underwear in the middle of the night, and I don't know if Jack was in his skivvies, but all three of us, within like 20 minutes, were out of our tent in the storm. Because I got a new canopy that attaches to my rooftop, and it was starting to howl a little bit, so I took it down.
I never
got out of your tent.
Got out of my tent. No, not at all. Never got out of the tent.
And then at 5 a.m., my tent started dumping water. It's like, well, I can't do anything about it now. And then when we all got up in the daylight, my rain fly got blown off. And actually, my rain fly zippers into the hard shell, but I think part of it wasn't zipped all the way, and then the wind caught that corner and just took it all the way off. And so I had a little river in there. But your fan...
Did it work?
Your fan and leaving everything open all day, even during the rain wouldn't get in there.
Yeah.
It dried it out.
Well, all in all, like I said, successful. And we did make a bit of a mess Saturday night. Sorry, Matt. I
told you Matt was going to say something.
But you did not. Nobody
I did, and I was like, well, at least we can say that Matt threw his down there, too.
Thank you, Jesse, for the amazing smoked pistachios. And you said you were going to try to figure that out. Were you able to?
I didn't. Yesterday, I got some tomahawk pork chops, so I decided to do those on the charcoal grill.
Okay.
So I didn't pull out the smoker.
Gotcha.
But I was going to try to smoke some to see. Because, I got my tent, and there's a good smelling campfire and there's a bad smelling campfire. But you didn't have the smokiness on you of the actual smoke, but you smelled like it.
Yeah.
It was like a cologne I would wear. And even driving home, I text you guys. I was like, I still smell like those nuts. And you're like, is that a bad thing? I was like, no.
No, that's a delicious thing. I don't understand how he does the magic. And then the other big food hit, Swingback John.
Spaghetti Eddie.
Needs to get a new name.
Swingback John, no offense to you Pennsylvania people, made the best whoopie pies I've ever had.
It may be the best whoopie pie. No, I'm going to state it. It was the best whoopie pie
I took a couple, so me and Ethan could have them.
They're delicious. The filling was wonderful.
About them.
And he even went so far on a bunch of them. I don't know what it was. Called? I don't know what they were, but
like Kellogg's.
Little chunky things that he put inside the to make it an actual gravel whoopie pie. So, whoopie pie John, I think
those were the best whoopie pies I've ever had.
Congratulations on
I probably ate 6.
And he had 2, and I may have poo-pooed the initial revelation of the pumpkin whoopie pie, but then I did consume quite a few of them. They were just delicious. I don't understand how people can make things that taste that good, because if I tried to do that, it would have been a train wreck.
They were delicious. Yeah, I would say he could be the Ted did do his crack at Evans pierogies.
Yeah, he did.
John won food of the weekend.
Yeah.
They were good, and
I don't know, there's a strong tie between Jesse's pistachios and John's whoopie pies. But, because the Jesse's nuts.
Yeah.
And John's pie. There's a tremendous
I wonder if you could
yin and yang between them.
If you could crush up the pistachios and sprinkle them into the cream. There's your gravel. Because I bet that's not a bad combo.
Probably not. That sounds really good. You may have hit on something.
Yeah.
Well, we have to figure out a way. Hint, hint, Jesse. We need to figure out a way to get Matt a little stash of pistachios.
Oh, I told you I was already. That's why I was going to smoke some.
You're going to smoke some?
Okay. Matt won't listen to this. But he'll get the joke
Okay. All right.
when they show up at his house.
Yeah. Well, I hope we probably need to do some product testing before we go that far.
Product.
So,
Oh, you want a quick product test? That Ergon tape, 1-day review?
Yeah, please. Please.
That's my long-term
Oh,
review.
you're so happy with it.
Earlier, I meant to say that's the long-term review.
Yeah. Well,
But I'll do some pistachio testing at home.
the Buck 50, that's probably not even a 1-day review though for that tape. That's a good trial right there.
Oh, it is. Just
That's
like Ted's with the... Ask Ted how he felt about that Redshift kitchen sink setup.
Yeah. I couldn't tell from him whether he liked it or didn't like it. It was a no bueno, no started, huh? No.
I mean, I won't say anything publicly.
Okay. Well, I know he said one way or the other, and I just can't remember.
I think he said he felt his hands for 2 miles of the 60.
Did he have the Redshift stem on there too?
I don't know.
That
I'll
I
have to
don't
look at pictures.
I used to feel it in my hands. Now I don't with that Redshift.
I haven't
stem.
used the Redshift stem since I got rid of the Kona.
No, I swear by that still to this day. It really does make a difference. That and maybe a carbon fork or titanium frame. That all those things put together with a Redshift stem. And then what pressure did you run your
I'll say, yeah, I had my tires at like 25 PSI.
Did you really that low?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of volume there.
I was running mine. I never did swap my tires out.
Well, I wasn't worried about flying down a descent with a sharp corner thing and like rolling or burping
Rolling
or
it.
popping it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a thing. You were taking all the corners pretty cautiously there.
I was like 36, 37. I kept them a little bit higher. They felt good. They felt really good. So whatever I did right. And I was crossing over that chunky chunder stuff in the middle there. I would cross over that willy-nilly. I didn't have any problems with that. Maybe my confidence in bike handling is improving. Probably not.
Like I said, there were some sections look horrible. Other sections we just had to do it because of getting around people.
Yeah.
I just didn't want stitches.
And Lori podiumed.
She did. She won her age group.
She won her age group for the 50 on Sunday in the cold and the blustery and was it windy Sunday? I didn't really get a feel for that.
I think Sunday had some wind.
I know
it was cold too.
I know we had it driving back.
So driving back, I got 100 less miles to my tank.
Driving back.
Oh yeah, and I dropped 3 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, it was the wind.
It was a headwind the whole way up 95.
It was crazy.
And me and Jack, right before you text us that, I think we got out somewhere and we text each other about gas mileage, and then you text us.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down 3 miles to the gallon.
I wasn't far behind you guys. At one point, I was like 2 miles behind you. I was trying like crazy to catch you.
Oh.
And then I had to stop and get gas.
But I also wasn't flying because it was just my car was a sail.
Yeah. Well, with the rooftops on top of it. And,
I'm so ready to get that off my car today.
And that's another wonderful thing about having it on the trailer is I unfolded it at home, let it sit in the sun, let it all get dried out, set the gazebo, let it all get dried out, and I tucked it all back up in the trailer and backed it up into the barn, and it's ready to go again.
No, like I will have stuff changed on my car before it goes back up in April for a Dirty Kitten.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be. Is that the next?
My next. I will successfully
big thing?
have camped every month of the year.
Cool.
So
that I think is the next big thing, isn't it? April. Yeah. I actually got to get that on my calendar. I need to check when that is.
April 21st.
April 21st. Okay. Great.
Yep.
Great. Alex, we need to get on that. I need to get on that.
Oh, my Dirty Kitten kit shows up today. I bought it off the team store with Jess.
Nice. Is Jess going to cat camp? Cat camp's this weekend, right?
Yeah, she went to Florida Saturday. Remember I told you I was freaking out about her getting there?
Yeah.
And then she comes home tomorrow evening and then leaves again Thursday morning.
For cat camp.
And then she comes back Sunday night.
Okay. So she's been busy. Very busy.
Yeah, me and Bake have been bachelors.
Busy Jess. Well, is there anything we're missing from a Croatan recap perspective that you want to get out there?
Larry did very well.
Yes, he did.
I mean, we all did very well.
Oh, yeah.
Drew just chugged away. Drew looked so refreshed when he got back, too.
Yeah, congratulations, Drew. He did
the
full Buck 50 and arrived. It was late. It was dark time. It was 8:30.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that was a long day. Long day by bike.
That's just a long time on the bike.
Yeah.
And
I can't imagine going through the cornfield in the dark.
No, that would have sucked. What time did he get back? It doesn't matter.
It was 9 or
9:32.
9:32. You look at your pictures. That's smart, man.
Alonzo was. They were trying to hang out. He finally texted me Sunday. He's like, "Drew ever get back?" Yeah. So I think that's it. It was just a.
We need to thank the what was it?
Jameson?
Yeah, what was the
Hip pack.
The hip pack, but what was the rad roll? Rad pro roll.
Oh,
I can't remember the Instagram. I want to get so Jameson brought us these great little hip packs. And have you tried yours yet?
I did. It actually fits really nice.
The perfect size fanny pack. I'm not a fan of the fanny.
Ripstop by the roll.
Ripstop by the roll.
I put it on yesterday. It fit really nice.
Perfect.
I thought maybe because I'm a bigger guy, like everything was so comfortable about
it. Yeah. And it's not a fanny pack that's huge.
No.
It's just
like perfect size.
It's like it's not too big, but it's not too small. So,
because I did ride with my Nittany fanny pack additional to my other bags, because I put a first aid, rain jacket, extra food for Jack and me, my extra inhaler. So you can't overpack the big ones.
Yeah. I
didn't notice it. It was light.
Yeah.
My other one, but that one will be perfect for mountain biking.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
And the pockets.
Sizing. When he first rolled up with it, I'm like, this is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. But I'm in my head, I'm going, I don't know if I'd ever use a fanny pack. I'm not a big fan of the fanny pack.
You can sling it too.
But no, I got home and I put it on and it was like, my God, this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
So Jameson, kudos,
very
buddy.
nice.
Very nice.
No, I love the layout on the inside. Everything was thought out.
Yeah, very well thought out. And I still need an address. I've got to do some swags sharing with Jameson and his buddy. What was that big fella's name?
Smellin' Keller?
Yeah. He did bring some sure richness to the
That guy was hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
I can't remember. We'll call him Clark, because that sound he looked like a Clark. I don't know. Good guy though.
Oh yeah.
A lot of fun. So glad that they came over and hung out and did the whole thing. Real quick, this or that. First one, Joey. This is a this or that builds upon each other. The cornfield in 2024 this year, or Sector 4 in 2022, and which one was worse? That's what we're going for. Not which one you would prefer. Well, you could do I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You do you.
I think the muddy parts of the cornfield were worse than the muddy parts you had to get off. If you had to walk in Sector 4, you weren't past ankle deep in mud.
Right, because there were lines.
That is the one section that really hurt my ankle.
Oh, I bet it did.
Because your foot's getting sucked up, and then as you pull out of it, that put a lot of stress on my ankle. And you got off, there was 3 sections that you had to get off. As soon as you got off the asphalt, you could barely ride. And then when you got towards the first left turn, you couldn't ride. And when you got to the creek crossing, that thing was demolished by the afternoon. So eroded out.
Matt made a great decision by announcing mandatory dismount for the ditch. I thought that was...
Oh, there was?
Yeah, there was a mandatory dismount. You didn't hear him say that?
I don't know who's going to ride that.
I don't know, but it was actually...
Was that in the I didn't listen to a single thing he said. No,
it was in his early, getting ready to go. So he
oh, yeah, I didn't listen.
And that was why he had the guy there waving the flag, get off, dismount. That was a great move. The hour delay, he made some great decisions this weekend. The hour delay, and then that one. But I saw people going sort of to the edges and trying to walk around. I think it was the firmest right in the middle. And I just planted my foot right in the middle of the water and took another step, because that little hill coming when you were going out, the hill out of the water was steep. Yeah. And there was no purchase. So.
Can you imagine being Matt and knowing in 2020 you had to cancel the night before, and then you had this impending storm that was doom and gloom 3 or 4 years later?
But and he was right. He was right all along in that rain did not impact that course. That course was beautiful. Mm-hmm. That course was beautiful. So if you bailed on it because you were worried about the course conditions in that rain, you missed a great day. It was perfect. So which did you decide? And what was your reasoning?
I had fun at Cornfield. Mm-hmm. I think Sector 4 was probably easier to ride as a whole.
Okay. Well, I need a winner out of this. I need a choice.
I'll pick Cornfield. It's just fun.
Cornfield, okay. I'm actually going to go with Cornfield, too, because it was fun. Sector 4, there was a tremendous amount of, nervousness, and it was longer. So
it was stretched out over miles.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Cornfield in 2024 over Sector 4 in 2022. Now, we're going to take Cornfield of 2024 as the winner of the first this or that and put it up against Longwell Draft and Unpaved in the Rain.
Oh, I never did that, though.
That's right, you didn't do it. That's right. Oh, that was unfair then. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Well, based upon what you've heard of it, 3 miles, baby doll head, downhill, in the rain, ugliness.
You probably didn't have the same amount of people and everything along well. And I think having all those people around made the Cornfield fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you're probably by yourself, really pissed off and hating life on Longwell.
Longwell, there was very little fun factor. Yeah. Cornfield had a tremendous fun factor because there was no when you came out of the ditch, that first left and the first right, all the way out even to where it softened up again, you weren't going to try to ride your bike, but you could. Mm-hmm. And I think I did try to get back on it after that sharp right. And then hit that first ditch and was like, everything just sunk. So there was definitely a fun factor to the cornfield. And Longwell Draft, it was such a part of the difference, which just was such a tremendously long endeavor. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, the pain side of it, Longwell Draft, the challenge side of it, Longwell Draft, but the fun factor of just muck and grossness, cornfield all day long.
Like Longwell will probably be fun on a full suspension with like 2.6s.
Oh yeah, it was a mountain bike. It was definitely mountain bike land. But
no, I never did Longwell.
Absolutely.
We didn't even go up there with the car with Brett when the year I rode with Brett for the whole course.
I don't think a car could get through it.
No,
a car couldn't. A Jeep could. It was a Jeep road. I mean, a Jeep would have no problem with it. It was actually kind of a mild Jeep road.
Yeah,
but a car, no way. No,
not a Subaru Impreza.
No way. Okay, so what we got coming up next is going to be Rally Cat, Dirty Kitten. Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. Don't miss that, folks. If you're not registered for that, find that, register for it, because it is a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous amount of fun. And we got to put together a crew for that, because that was the biggest fun of that. We should try to get Dan there again from Jubilee.
Oh, yeah.
That was having the little group that was out adventuring on the course was it was a lot of fun.
I'm going to keep my bike single speed for that.
You rode it single speed last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't horrible at all.
Yeah.
A couple of those climbs really sucked.
Like Kitten Crusher that was
I got up a quarter of that where everyone else got off.
I got up about half of it. And then
I think I'd have no problem with my gearing with my Eagle derailleur, or like a 1052.
You know what I ran into?
Traction? But then people are going to walk past you as you're riding.
Yeah. So what I ran into on Kitten Crusher last year was with the congestion, and then you slow because there's the walking and the other stuff, and it's just like you almost were forced off of the bike. And I think that's probably going to depend upon a lot of the time of day and the people around you, the environment at the moment that you go do it. Mm-hmm. So Alex and Chris put on a great show out there in Rapidan, Virginia, so make sure to check that out. Find that on Bike Reg, or just go to dirtykittengravel.com. You'll find it there. Well, it's good to have you back. And we're here in the bike shop, and thankfully for a nice quiet window of time.
Only one Blake Park.
Yeah, and that's fine. We're just going to leave all that in. That's great, because everybody wants to hear from Blake too. It is good to have you back. It is good to have you across the table from me. And I don't know what we've got coming up in the future. I don't know. I don't have any interviews lined up. I don't have any of that. So it could just be more of the same. More of the same. We'll just do what we do. And we are going to go ahead and shut this down. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you've enjoyed the podcast, consider joining our Patreon family, getting on that sticker of the month, which are going out this week. The March sticker drop. I know it's almost the end of March, but Croatan really kind of snuck up on me.
Oh, wait till you get the Smell My Bottom Bracket sticker. Everybody. That's one you don't want to miss. I don't even know what the design is.
I don't know what that's going to look like. Smell My Bottom Bracket. There were a couple other good. Smell and Keller was another.
Yeah.
That was another good one that came out of that one. So we really do appreciate the support. So Patreon is a place to go to be a part of the family. Joey, how can folks get in touch with us?
I don't remember anymore, but I think it's graveltraveldirt.com. And our Instagram is at Mid-Atlantic GTD.
We're doing this right here from the Patuxent Adventure Center in Solomons, Maryland. Thanks for riding along. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.